this is not a natural sickness. But that shouldn't stop you from enjoying tea.
What's happening?
Your critical decision. What you did beneath that lake. It was in such conflict with your image of yourself that you are now at war within your own mind and body.
I find it interesting seeing how Zuko had to go within himself to understand who he was as a person. I talked about this in the other day's video as well, because a lot of the inner turmoil that I have gone through in my past has been because it has been in conflict with my image of myself. And that's because I was conditioned to believe certain things. As my conditioning has changed, I have been able to become more aware of my inner self and what my inner being is. A lot of it has been through meditation, self-inquiry, doing things that are challenging and kind of put me outside of my comfort zone. We can look at Zuko. He wasn't expecting to go on a date or even free the bison from Ba Sing Se. He was going to keep it, bring it back to his dad, and then be crowned prince again. And he decided not to. He decided to become a bigger person. He decided that he was going to change who he was. And in doing so, he became sick. He became ill. This happened to me a couple months ago, almost a year ago at this point in time, where I was getting very, very sick. I was getting strep throats 2 or 3 times a week. It felt like, it was more like 2 or 3 times a year, which that just isn't normal. And then when I started to get back out on my own and I was living how I wanted to live again, I started to get very sick and ill. And it was like, I have a decision that I have to make. I can either go back to the life of being protected and living under like my parents' house, and I was like, I don't want to be that person anymore. So I would lay on the ground, I would be within my mind, I was battling and acknowledging past situations that I had had and accepting certain ones and letting others go, forgiving people and being grateful for situations that I had been in. This helped me because I was able to overcome the sickness that I was facing. A lot of the sicknesses that I have faced, and maybe you face too, you aren't really sick. It's more a battle within yourself. And that's where I've come to realize that when we are ill, most likely it's because we haven't decided what path to take. Because for the longest time, I have been stuck at a crossroads. I've been trying to figure out, do I go right? Do I go left? And I've come to realize I just have to start walking. When I did this before, I took a right, and this time I'm going to be doing the same thing. I figure what choice I make is the right choice for me to be made so that I can go through my more metamorphosis like Zuko has. And I always find it interesting how as kids, when we watch these shows, these series, I think the message was relayed even if it wasn't fully aware. I think our subconscious picked up, oh, hey, there's going to be a time where I'm going to have to decide between the blue dragon or the red dragon. And I'd rather choose the red dragon because the red dragon's always been there, whereas the blue dragon has been the one that's trying to manipulate me and change my ideas and my thoughts and make me not be who I am. Whereas the red dragon has always been the one that has been by my side, that has always seen the greatness within me, the potential, the amount of good that I have to offer. And I've just been waiting and waiting and waiting and being there for me until I could choose the red dragon over the blue dragon. Because sometimes, not even sometimes, the blue dragon will want to win. We can't let the blue dragon win. We have to follow our heart, follow the red dragon, follow what we know is right. Because at the end of it, we will come out a better person. We will come out a brighter star. We will become who we always have meant to be. And sometimes that requires having to question who we are as people and go through that metamorphosis and realize that something that I have done may be challenging, and it'll be the exact thing that I need to either go against my self-image or the image that I had within myself, and then I can change that story and I can create it to be anything that I want it to be, or I can keep it the same and stay where I always have been. And that's the great part about looking within compared to without, is we can change the story within any time we want. Zuko, he decided that, okay, yeah, I am going to go with the red dragon over the blue dragon. I am going to help the Avatar, even if he didn't realize it at first, because he still wanted to experience what it was like to be a prince at the castle. And then he realized that the blue dragon was deceiving him and did not have his heart, did not want his heart. She wanted to finish him. Whereas the red dragon has always been by his side, by the prince's side, because he saw the good within him. And yes, obviously, Zuko has done terrible things to Iroh, the red dragon, and Iroh forgave him. He forgave him even though he was afraid that Zuko had lost his way. When we can never truly lose our way, I believe sometimes we have to experience both sides to see which one it is that we truly want. And once our decision's already been made, it's like, okay, yeah, I did make the right choice. Sometimes we just feel like we have to go back to make sure that it was. And then once we see that it has been, it's like, okay, I'm glad I chose the red dragon to begin with.